America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
The Pentagon announced it's lifted its temporary shelter in place this afternoon after hazmat crews responded to an incident when systems triggered an air quality alert. Pentagon officials now say that was a false alarm. Sections of the high-security facility in lockdown then. ABC's Alex Perche is outside the Pentagon.
It was a shelter in place. There were no evacuations here, according to those sources that talked to ABC News. The other thing that we learned is that for the vast majority of the Pentagon, which there's some 23,000 folks at work here, it was business as usual.
In Southern California, Pasadena police say a so-called horseplay incident between two police officers led to one being injured.
Two officers were allegedly playing with their guns when one went off. In newly released dashcam video, as one officer is pulling into the Pasadena Police Department garage, another officer at the back of his patrol SUV pulls out his gun and points it, seemingly jokingly, at the officer pulling in. The officer pulling in then pulls out his gun, again seemingly jokingly, but the gun fires. The bullet went through the windshield and hit the first officer in the shoulder. It happened last September, but just now has become known publicly. The chief calls it horseplay or failing to follow safety rules. The officer who was shot has recovered. The chief says the officers involved were disciplined. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Severe storms once again targeting the Midwest today. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Weather sponsored by H&K Group Incorporated.
Possible thunderstorms this evening, and then just cloudy overnight, very warm, only getting down to 75. Tomorrow, 95, partly cloudy in the afternoon, possible showers and thunderstorms again. Scattered thunderstorms in the evening, too, a low of 69.
Start your new career with H&K Group Incorporated. H&K Group wants to offer you the opportunity to be part of the industry leader. 80 locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Visit hkgroup.com and apply today. H&K is an equal opportunity employer.
Kale & Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
You've got bikes, you've got scooters, you've got delivery drivers, now we have robots. What does it say about a city? And I get it, this is the direction of technology. All of the extra technology that's moving as you're trying to move in an already congested city, I think there's going to be a lot of pushback and resistance to the robots here in Philadelphia. Short of the bougie crowd that's going to love it in and around Market and Chestnut.
Send me my Chipotle. Oh, there's a robot from Uber. Like, are we that lazy?
Start your day with Kale & Company. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. WPHT, WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
The afternoon show's here again with Uncle Barry and his friends. Turn it up and settle in. Time to do it all again. From diamonds and deals, let's do it again. It's Barry Sable this afternoon here on 1210 with friends dropping by and stories to share. There's always something happening when Barry's on the air. From diamonds and gold to stories untold and a few good friends, it never gets old. Stories, smiles, a few surprises too. Spend your afternoon with Barry and the crew. It's the afternoon show with special host Barry Sable. Be sure to join Barry Sable and friends Friends every Sunday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wow, Matt DeSantis. What an opening. Didn't expect that, my friend.
Newman Price brought the goods as per usual. Another masterpiece.
Yes, absolutely. Well, good afternoon. You have tuned into the midday show on 1210 WPHT. Barry Sable, as you could tell, sitting in for the next 3 hours, and happy to be doing so. It looks like the same format as my Sunday show, meaning we are streaming live on YouTube. And if you so select, would love to hear from you. Slowly, I'll give you the number, 855-839-1210. Nobody has callers like Dom. I appreciate the crossover. And producing, as I say today, is Matt DeSantis and Justin Otero. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
It's great to be with you, Barry. Uncle Barry in the house. Excited to have you back. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, listen, and I love being here, as you know. I did the show from 10 to 1. That is a crazy show at night, boys. If you can't ever get an opportunity, messes your whole day up the next day. That I can tell you.
I actually started on that show. That
So
was the
did
first
I.
one I produced. And
You got to be kidding.
yeah, I remember getting Taco Bell on the drive home at like 1:30
my
and then
Lord.
not going to sleep till like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
and
it's-
yet you're right. You're basically ruined for the rest of the week.
Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, we're going to have a fun afternoon filled with great guests and some thoughts living in this crazy world and hopefully some resolve. So, you know, Matt, you asked me when I came in the studio, how did you go from the jewelry business to the real estate business and then to be on air? And I figured, let me tell you exactly how this took place. I had a relationship with David Yageroff, who has been our general, I guess, manager in the area for these 5 or 6 radio stations for the longest time. And I called him and I said, listen, I would love to do a radio show dating 50 and above. He said, what are you talking about? I said, you know, there's a lot of people that are older, get divorced or separated or whatever else may be. And frankly, they don't know where to go at nights. So I had met a young lady, if I could say that, younger than me. And I convinced her to do this show with me. And I thought it was a cool concept. Yageroff said, I want you to meet with Greg Stocker. I met with him. 20 minutes later, he said, you've got the 10 o'clock hour on Sunday morning. I said, great. So I go back to her and I say, we're in action. 2 weeks later, she calls me and says, I have good news and bad news. Give me the bad news. I would love to do it with you, but I can't. I'm moving to Dallas, Texas, and I'm not going to be available. So I already secured this hour. I said to myself, as resilient as you have to be in life, I have some friends that are political junkies. So I made a call, had dinner for 3 of these guys, and the next thing you know, we put together a show called The Barry Sable Show with friends. It was kind of really cool. And I just navigated the ship, walked in, host, let these guys respond. Matt and Justin, it was fun. 3 years later, we're still here. So I want to discuss with you guys, and I want to play a clip if I can. Senator McCormick is here. Wow, Dave McCormick. All right, so let me introduce the senator if I can. My first guest today is no stranger in the state of PA. Senator Dave McCormick is actively focusing on legislative issues, I got that right, such as energy permitting reform, emerging technology regulation, and federal funding restitution for Pennsylvania's health systems. To be more specific, he introduced the Unlock America Energy and Jobs Act, which is aimed at cutting federal red tape, streamlining nuclear licensing, and stopping the misuse of Clean Air Act to stall energy infrastructure projects. A lot of words to have to get out. But let me keep going. He's done a lot of things in the last 6 or 8 months, or even years or so. I guess it's even longer than that. And he'll tell me, introduced the bipartisan National Commission on Robotics Act to elevate U.S. competitiveness. He did something which I thought was very cool. he pressured the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, to release nearly $600 million in approval COVID-19 reimbursement funding owed to the state of Pennsylvania hospitals. And he joined the ongoing fight, this is cool, to restore and protect the president's house site, a prominent slavery exhibition and historical landmark in Pennsylvania. And recently, a bundle of stuff. He is teaming with Mike Rowe to spotlight workforce training in Pittsburgh. Before I let you respond, Senator, I want you to know earlier today, before the show, I priced out a new pair of rollerblades for you at Dick's Sporting Goods. Since you're always on the go, don't be shy, Senator. I need a shoe size, please.
All right. Thanks for having me, Barry. I really appreciate it. Always good to be with you. And, we have a great friendship, but it started on a trip to the border in Arizona where we saw firsthand the wide open border. You and I watched, people just coming pouring across the border. 10 million folks did that at least under the Biden administration. And so I want to start by saying, man, what a difference a few years makes and leadership makes, because here we have really stopped the flow of illegal immigrants at the border. And the reason this, there's a lot of things you can pick to focus on, but the reason I focused on this so much was because I had a chance to meet with fentanyl families in Pennsylvania. These are families that tragically lost a young person in their lives due to fentanyl, oftentimes with the kids not even knowing they were taking it. In the last year of the Biden administration, we lost 4,000 of those kids in Pennsylvania. 4,000, almost 100,000 nationally. And I'm happy to tell you that this first year of the Trump administration in Pennsylvania, we're down to 1,600. Wow. 60% decline. That's still 1,600 tragedies. But the reason I start with that is that's what leadership does. We, under President Trump, we secure the border. We use the military to go after the cartels, which is what I campaigned on. I said, listen, these people are killing our kids. We got to go after them. We prosecuted dangerous criminals and sent them home. So we got some work to do because it's still a tragedy. But just look at that difference, Barry. And I thought I'd start with that because you and I started with that.
Yep, it's true. But here's my question to you. When you do the Barry Sable Show with friends, which is no different than this midday show, this is not a normal Washington, D.C. interview.
You are not normal. You are not normal, Barry. Right. I will agree with you on that.
And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you have never told me no. Never, ever, ever. Every time I've called on you to participate in a show, whether it's in the midday or it's on Sunday mornings, you've always been there for me. So I have something that I want to give you as a little surprise. So, all of your so-called colleagues, and I'll show you how we do it in Philly. When a visiting team comes into Philly and is announced, the players, here's how it basically goes. So I transcended sports into politics. And these are supposedly your colleagues. Cory Booker sucks. Richard Blumenthal sucks. Dick Durbin sucks. Boo, Bernie Sanders. Boo, Adam Schiff. Chris Murphy, Elizabeth Warren, Chris Van Hollen, and Raphael Warnock. They all suck. Senator Dave, how can you possibly sit on the other side of the aisle with these lunatics and have any sanity for this country or the results of the Senate? That's what Uncle Barry really wants to know.
Well, listen, just when you think it can't get any crazier, there's a new potential colleague on the horizon, Graham Plattner, right? So you just list those names. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a party that has lurched so far to the left, and many of those names that you describe are lurching to the left, in part because they're running for president.
Yep.
A number of those people are thinking about it. And what they've discovered is that the only way they have any viability in the Democratic Party is to move to the extreme. What do I mean by that? Socialism, communism. These are ideas that are in the dustbin of history. Anti-Semitism, hatred. I'm old enough to remember, and so are you, Barry. There used to be a day when being a Nazi sympathizer and having a Nazi tattoo would have made it very difficult to be successful in politics. There was a day when if you were a misogynist or had violence against women or were on some underage site where you couldn't prove that you weren't communicating inappropriately with young girls. There was a day when that you just couldn't go very far in politics with that kind of track record. In the Democratic Party today, that is the nominee in Maine, and here's the killer. Most of the people you mentioned there are up in Maine supporting him, campaigning for him. They said, listen, we don't care if you're a Nazi. Yep. We don't care if you violence against women. I mean, this is the party that lied and attacked Brett Kavanaugh in his hearings to be on the Supreme Court because of an allegation that couldn't be proven. And now you have them standing behind this guy, Graham Plattner. It is unbelievable. So you put your finger on it. It makes it very hard to get things done. And that's why what happened this last week, we did something called reconciliation, which is a path where you go to 51 votes instead of the normal 60. And the reason we did that is because we had to fund the border. We had to fund Border Patrol. We had to fund ICE. And the Democrats wouldn't do it. And the reason they weren't doing it was because they have Trump derangement syndrome. They hate Trump so much that they're willing to do anything to stop Trump, even if it's terrible for our country. So it's a sad state. And my basic view is you got to stay the course. You got to stay strong, fight for the things that are right, and the American people will sort things out at the ballot box, and they'll pick the right people over time. But we got some lunatics right now.
So here's my question. Before I get to the guy in Texas, the James Tallarico guy, I mean, he's unbelievable, where he believes God is non-binary, and he believes in 6 sexes and everything else under the sun, which is just unimaginable to me. I mean, is this going to actually correct itself? Because from my standpoint of view, and I've said this to you off the air, is that I believe that the fabric of America has greatly changed. And when you look at the statistics of the numbers of people that we brought into this country that are and I don't judge them by color, but of color, you could see that we have more and more immigrants that are not faithful to the United States of America than we've ever had in our lives.
Yeah. Well, part of that is because we've had this huge inflow of illegal immigrants, and those illegal immigrants have come to America not always with the best interest of America in mind. Listen, you know this, Barry. I'm married to a legal immigrant. My wife came from Egypt at the age of 5. Her father had been in the Egyptian military. It took them more than a decade to be able to become citizens. There is nobody tougher on illegal immigrants, illegal immigration than people who came here legally.
That's right.
And have gone through the process. And when you go through the process, you basically say, I'm willing to wait in line to come to America. I don't blame anybody from wanting to come to America. It's the greatest country in the world.
Yep.
You just got to do it legally. They wait to come. They get their green cards. They go through the process to achieve citizenship. There is no one more patriotic. When you're coming here as part of a cartel, when you're coming here for illicit reasons, when you're coming here and you're a violent criminal, you begin to fray the fabric of our country. And then the public services that have extra strain, it really begins to undermine our communities. And so we need to treat immigration as the challenge it is. And I think the process for doing that is secure the borders, which the president's done, and basically start focusing, and they have been doing this, on taking those folks that have come here and that are breaking the law, violent criminals, and finding them and sending them home. And as much as you read about this in the papers, the last statistics I saw were only about 400,000 folks had been sent home so far out of more than 10 million that are here. So we've got continued work to do, and we need to start with the folks that are really putting other Americans at risk.
Yep. So let me ask you a question. Justin Murphy is a buddy of mine. As you know, I'm sure you know, he has just won the Republican elect to be U.S. Senate. So he's going to be going up against your friend Cory Booker. Can you tell me quickly, if you were giving somebody like him advice, What do you think pushed you over the top to beat Bob Casey that was different than other campaigns had run in the past?
Well, listen, I can't speak for other campaigns so much, but I know the one thing that I have learned, and it is the great teacher, is authenticity. Authenticity is the single most important thing. So what authenticity means is that you're one person. In other words, the person behind closed doors is the same person that's out on the campaign trail. It's the same guy that's talking to Barry off the radio is the same guy talking to Barry on the radio. That is the one thing that every voter should expect of its candidates, is that they're seeing the real person, what they believe, what they're saying. There's not two different people. There's one person, and that's who they're having a chance to vote for. And unfortunately, there's not that much of that these days. I see some of these guys, behind the scenes, they're, whole different people than they are when they get out in front of CNN or MS Now or something like that. Yeah. So authenticity is the single most important thing. And campaigns are tough. And national campaigns for the Senate, they test a person. And eventually, if you're fake, you're going to be found out. Yep. You got to just be you. And if being you isn't enough to get you elected, I mean, you got to run a good campaign. You got to be competent. You got to know the issues. But if being you isn't enough to get you elected, then that's okay.
Yes.
Like, there's other things you can do in life. But to get elected pretending you're something you're not is a recipe for disaster. And so that would be my advice to your friend. I don't know him, but it would be just be your best self. Be the person in front of the camera that you are behind the camera, and the voters will see it.
Listen, I want to circle back. When we talk about you guys, we hear it in clips all the time. We see it on TV. My friend or colleague on the other side of the aisle. Is there a possibility that we could come up with a new word for colleague? Because I'm looking forward to something else. Because to be honest with you, Senator, when I listen to the nonsense that these people spew and this hatred for Donald Trump in this country, I have to tell you, it's upsetting to me. So I would like for you to come up with a different word than colleague.
I'll take that under consideration. I don't use that, but I think it's right. I mean, I do think there's some fakeness there. And, listen, behind the scenes, you can, I've tried to be a good example of this, Barry. I really do. I try to, just with the point around authenticity. I mean, my voting record is, there's no one more conservative in terms of his voting record. I have taken out strong positions that are consistent with what I promised.
Yes, and you
on the campaign trail.
Yep.
But my view here is that we got to win as Republicans and for Americans. We got to win the battle of ideas. We have to show why what we're for is what's right for America, and what the Democrats are for will destroy America.
Amen.
And we have to make that case day in and day out.
Listen, I know you have to run. Go ahead. Last thought, because I have a request. Go ahead. Last thought, please.
You go.
Senator.
Well, I was just going to say, buddy. I was just going to say that I look for opportunities to work with people to get things done. I promise Pennsylvanians that, but you can't deviate from what you believe in your promises.
Yep, and I agree, and you've done a great job. My last request, how do you like this one? I've tried to get John Fetterman on my show. I've not been successful. I would love, since he is your friend, I'd love to have him and you on a half-hour show with me, just you two guys dialoguing back and forth. I think 1210 WPHT listeners would love to hear the dialogue between you and he.
All right, Barry. There's never an interview without a surprise at the end. So
there you go.
You got it. We'll talk.
I threw your curveball. I know what I did to you, Uncle Barry. You think I'm to the left, I'm to the right, and if you think I'm at the right, I'm in the middle. I know you were speechless. You could get it done. It would be great. Listen, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for doing a great job for Pennsylvania and the Keystone State. We trust you. We believe in you, and keep up the good work, my friend.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Have a good day.
You bet, my friend. Listen, I want to thank Dave McCormick. I didn't get the shoe size, I don't think. Did I, Matt? I don't think he responded.
No.
I'll get back to this. I'll find that out. Listen, guys, we're up against the break. You are listening to the Midday Show. Barry Sable sitting in. And I guess we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You know, when it comes to complex dental care, experience matters. At Bentz Dental Group, board-certified prosthodontists, Dr. Robert Bentz and Dr. Emily Bentz bring advanced training and expertise to every case. They use the latest technology. Their team delivers accurate diagnosis from the very start and builds personalized treatment for you. Whether it's wear or tear or more advanced concerns, you are in expert hands. Get the smile you really want. Call 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade? Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, line starts here.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Salesforce is making a big financial commitment to developing artificial intelligence in France. The $2 billion investment includes launching a new AI innovation hub in Paris, as well as expanding support for AI education and workforce training. Salesforce CEO and chair Mark Benioff calls France one of the world's great centers for AI innovation, thanks to a strong research ecosystem and entrepreneurial talent. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
Here I am back. Barry Sable sitting in at the midday show. Hey, Justin. You know, that guy, McCormick, is something special. I have to tell you, every single time that I asked him to appear on the airways with me, he's never told me once, never. How do you like that?
No,
he's never told
Senator
me no.
McCormick's one of the best. His team's great. We love everybody that is tangentially related to Senator McCormick and, of course, Senator McCormick himself.
Yes. Listen, before we go to my next guest, I just want to make a comment. You know, I wanted to talk to you two guys, you two young bucks, about dating, okay? And we'll get to it, trust me, before these 3 hours are over. But I just want to make a comment to something that you might find funny, and then we'll go to my next guest. To me, women are like cell phones. They like to be held and talked to. But push the wrong button, and you will get disconnected, boys. Has that ever happened to either one of you guys? Or are you in the studio all the time?
Sounds like a clip we could use as a promo for the afternoon show. It's very well thought out.
Uncle Barry's on the ball. Listen, my next guest, guys, is what I refer to as a white bearded wonder, a former chief patrol agent of the U.S. border of Yuma, Arizona, when the administrations changed. And by the way, I met him with Dave McCormick at the same time as well. And when the administrations changed, he spent some time working with Robert Kennedy in finding lost children who crossed the border. No stranger to the Barry Sable Show with Friends. And you have seen him on Fox News and all over the airways in the past 2 or 3 years. Good afternoon, Chief Chris Clem, my friend. How the heck are you? Are you still chasing snakes in the desert?
Well, good afternoon, Uncle Barry. And yeah, the beard is getting white for whatever reasons. I don't know why, all the stress I may have had for all those years on the border. But no, good to be on the show. Good talking to you. And I gotta make 2 comments because I got to hear some of the intro. First of all, yes, Senator McCormick's a heck of a guy. I was fortunate to be able to meet him 1 or 2 times and did some direct and indirect campaigning for him because I think this guy is exactly what we need in the Senate, and Pennsylvania's got a good senator there.
Yep.
And then that cell phone comment. I'm going on my 31st year of marriage this year, and if I press the wrong button, she'll disconnect me at any time. So it doesn't matter if you're in the dating pool or you've been married like me for over 30 years. You got to very much like a cell phone. And although I just say this, don't ever voluntarily mention the upgrade.
Well, then let me ask you one question. Of course. Then let me ask you a question. Wife says, should we try a different position tonight? And the guy says, excellent idea. The wife says, okay, you stand at the sink, wash dishes, and I will lay on the sofa and watch TV. You ever hear that before?
You know what? That sounds much like, especially football season. My wife loves watching football games, so I end up cooking and cleaning. But normally our routine is I cook, she cleans. But during football season, or right now as we're watching our Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals,
yes,
I'm doing more of the cooking and cleaning. But that's okay. She took care of this family while I was out, all over the country doing things for the government. So I owe her a little bit of that. But yeah, no, great to talk to you. Great to be on the show.
You
and
too, my friend.
Yeah, looking forward to the conversation today.
Of course. So tell me what it was like working with Robert Kennedy. I am so curious because we've talked about this off the air. I mean, you guys were resolved to the fact that roughly 300,000 unvetted kids came into this country. Yes, I met you at the border with Dave McCormick. I went to the NGOs. You took us all over the darn place. I want to know, What happened with that format, and how have we been successful in finding a lot of kids?
Well, I'll start with my relationship with Bobby Kennedy. Obviously, I met him when he was still running for president, and it's a funny story because I told him I'll help him with his border security policy and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not voting for him, because but in the relationship, and he actually no one's probably ever talked to him that way, and we developed a friendship over time, and even though he knew I was backing President Trump and the Republican ticket there, we kind of bonded, had a good relationship with that, and then he obviously, as we know, joined the Trump campaign and Trump administration.
Yes.
And because I had worked with him earlier on, he gave me a lot of deference, and we had that relationship where when I was up there and asked by the White House to come work in that department at HHS, because that's who's responsible for the kids when they come across the border illegally.
Yep.
That was my job, was to go in there and fix the broken system, because as we know, there was close to 500,000 that came in trafficked under Biden, and close to 300,000 that were actually missing and unaccounted for. So I was working directly with Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, the White House, all the other three-letter agencies, and my relationship with Bobby was, look, I'm going to tell you when you need to know it and what you need to know. But in other words, I'm talking directly to Trump's advisors. We're getting this stuff done. I briefed him regularly, but he gave me a lot of deference. And I appreciate that, because we made, just tremendous strides of, cleaning up a broken system that was run by the former Secretary Becerra, who's, running for governor in California. That just blows my mind that this guy who was responsible for missing so many kids is now, a leading candidate for governor in California. But back to that relationship with Kennedy. I spoke to him regularly, not didn't bug him, didn't talk to him daily, but kept him apprised of what needed to happen. He supported me and the team, and then when I left, I handpicked my replacement and made sure that Kennedy knew that my replacement was a solid player, and he, obviously he gave me a lot of latitude and deference to make those selections. And, I don't know if you saw it this morning, Barry, but we had a big press conference with Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche and DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen talking about going after the child sponsors and continue to rescue the kids. Yep. And so I watched that press conference this morning, and it was just, I was excited and had like goosebumps, because it was everything that I began. Yep. Creating the task force, getting the policies in place, new institutes or instruments in the Federal Registrar to make sure that we're going after the sponsors, and now and really helping drain the swamp of a lot of careers that were stuck in some of the other agencies that were supporting us, and to see the culmination of now 146,000 kids have been found, multiple sponsors. I think several hundred sponsors have been charged. There's been indictments. There's been convictions. So as much as I love watching that, I don't miss being in the fight, but I do like seeing the fight happen the way we planned it out when I was up there, and to see that it was continuing. So again, a lot of great things, but Bobby gave me that the latitude, and again, working directly with the White House to make sure things were done. So
yeah, and we appreciate your service. You spent a lot of time. I guess my question to you is, once you found these kids, what happened to them? Because I guess, and you could correct me, I guess some parents sold their kids. I don't want to call it to slavery or to some kind of malice act, but they gave up their kids for money, I guess. I don't know how these kids exactly got here. We know through the cartel, obviously. What happened to them? They didn't go to relatives, so they went to strangers. The last administration didn't do anything about it. What actually happened to these kids, and did they go back home? Are they with their parents? Are they with relatives? Are they in foster houses? Where are they, my friend?
Actually, all of the above, right? So let's start with the beginning, how they get here. So many times the parents have already snuck in here, and so they're trafficking their kids here. in the United States through the hands of smugglers and traffickers. There's the other side of it where they send the kids here because they have friends or distant relatives, and they use the smuggling organizations to get them here. Unfortunately, these smuggling organizations and trafficking organizations do not, are lack morals, and so they just use this as a trafficking operation and indentured servitude and sex slavery.
Terrible.
That happens, right? And then you have just the other criminal element, which is basically like a kidnapping, where they just traffic these kids, saying they're bringing them to the United States, they'll have a better life, and they get over here, and then they go into these unknown criminal sponsors. So the sponsors are there's like 4 categories. Okay, there's the parent or legal guardian. The second is an unrelated, a adult family member that's not the parent or legal guardian, so like an aunt, uncle, or grandma or cousin. Then the third one would be an unrelated adult. So that would be anybody that wants to sponsor this child. And then fourth would be a foster care system. The problem is the policies and practices under the last administration, under Biden-Harris and Secretary Becerra, they did not have the checks and balances and the policies in place to vet the sponsors, to run criminal background checks of the sponsors, to do DNA testing of people that claim family relationship. They were taking, 70%, and I testified in the Senate on this last fall, 70% of the applications by sponsors had fraud in them. Fraudulent Social Security numbers, addresses, driver's license, photographs, all this stuff. So
Scary.
that's how the kids became unaccounted for and missing, because literally there were hundreds of addresses used multiple times, and nobody was catching that. I mean, that's just basic, simple, check, not even law enforcement work. It should raise a flag.
Yep.
That's what was happening. That's why they were missing, unaccounted for. Now, the good news. The 146,000 that have been accounted for. We use the word accounted for because some have been rescued.
Yep.
Some we found out were deceased. Some have been, the paperwork was missing and they
Young
were actually
kids deceased. Really?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
Most of them were teenagers that were put in wrong settings because we didn't do the follow-up under the previous administration.
Wow.
You have some kids that the paperwork didn't get caught up with the court system, and they'd actually been removed from the country. So, and then you have some that were alive and just were with the wrong sponsors. They have been placed back into our new and improved refugee resettlement program and placed with the appropriate vetted sponsors, because they still have a due process on the immigration hearing. And so we want to make sure we do those things right. And then when we find the parents, that's another thing that always gets misunderstood, is when we identify the parents, if the parents are here illegally or they were involved, and obviously they're involved in some way, shape, or form, we process them together, detain them together, and hopefully ultimately remove them together, to keep those families, because that's been a big push is, they can go back with their family and start scratch.
Yeah, sounds like the movie Taken. Listen, we're up against the break. Chief, can I hold you over? I have so many questions I want to talk to you about the wall and other things that are going on with the cartels and the canine and the drones. Can we hold you over for another 50? You got it. You are listening to the midday. Thank you. To the midday show. Barry Sable sitting in this afternoon. I am talking to Chief Chris Clem. Such a great guy. He so many years of service to this country. I appreciate him talking to us. See you on the other side of the break.
A well-organized home isn't a luxury, it's a practical upgrade. Closet Factory designs and installs custom storage for closets, pantries, garages, and home offices, built to fit your space and your needs. You'll work with a designer, choose the look, and get professional installation, so the project stays simple and the results last. Start with a free design consultation at closetfactory.com. That's closetfactory.com.
Hit the road this season to watch the Birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly. The official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
My obstructive hypertrophic cardiomyopathy kept me from baseball games with my boys. The stairs were too much. With Camzyos, my symptoms have improved and I can be more active again. Camzyos is a cardiac myosin inhibitor, the first in its class to treat adults with symptomatic OHCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and ability to be active, and it reduced obstruction in the heart 4 times more.
In a 30-week study, Camzyos, mavacamten, reduced post-exercise obstruction on average 47 units of pressure versus 10 with placebo. Results may vary. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased with serious infection, irregular heartbeat, or with certain other medicines. Do not stop, start, or change medicines or dose without telling your doctor. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help for new or worsening heart failure symptoms. Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking, tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and current or planned pregnancy, as Camzyos may harm your unborn baby.
Visit Camzyos.com or call 1-855-CAMZYOS. Actor Portrayal.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. 1210 WPHT.
I am back. You are listening to the Midday Show, 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia. Barry Sable talking to a favorite, one of the most favorites that I have, Chief Chris Clem. Chief, I want to ask you, and we only have maybe 7 minutes until we take a break, and I know you've got to run. I want you to tell me the current events of what's happening with the wall. And my question, I guess, would start out with is, when I was down there, there was a ton of steel on the ground because the wall was being built, and then it got stopped, I believe, from the Biden administration. Why don't you tell us the status of the wall and what is happening there? That would kind of interest and pique our appetite.
Yeah, the great question, and really it's good to be able to update people what's really happening. So, within the first hours of the Biden administration, he signed an executive order that shut down all construction and contracts related to the wall, not just the steel, but the lights, the camera systems, the sensor systems. So he shut all that down on day one with executive orders. 93 more executive orders that ruined our border and immigration system in the first few months. But yes, all that steel that was stacked up there was being sold off for pennies on the dollar. Yep. When Trump won and got sworn in as under Trump 47, that the contractor and company reversed its course and gave a lot of that back to the government, knowing that it was in the best interest. Now, I know there's probably a lot more finer details on that, but that was the gist of it, with the steel that had been bought by the American people multiple times now because of the politics, but ultimately given back at least a lot of that steel that had been set up to be sold off was given back. And of course, obviously, they're manufacturing and building and doing more.
So they're building the
fabrication
wall
as we speak.
now, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Right? Absolutely. And I can tell you, look, under the official title, what is it, Working Families Tax Cuts, but the one big beautiful bill, there was $46.5 billion set purposely for border wall. They say Trump's border wall, but let me tell you, and I want you and the audience to know, it's the Border Patrol agents in America's border wall, because it's the requirement that we needed to secure our border in particular spots along our southwest border, where we need primary wall and secondary wall. So it's not just one, it's sometimes multiple layers like we had in Yuma and other places. But I live in south central Arizona, so I travel Interstate 10 every day to get into town and do the things I need to do. And you and I spoke offline a day or two ago, and yesterday twice on my way up and down, there were southbound, even though I-10 runs east-west, but it's technically going south towards the border, were multiple semi-trucks with flatbeds with the prefab 30-foot wall sections and the anti-climb heading down to southern Arizona to be installed. So it is happening right here, right now in Arizona and other parts. And on that, too, is, again, I can tell you walls work, but the other piece is the smart technology, where we use autonomous surveillance capabilities out to help us, because the wall is designed to impede, deny, control, and contain. But yes, people are going to get up and over it, but it slows them down and allows agents to respond. So then we add the technology and the smart technology to help us, make the arrest and ultimately deliver a consequence.
I have to believe that canine and drones are a big help too. My God, if we could use drones rather than put boots on the ground, drones have to be a tremendous help to these border guys. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have we've been using drones for a long time, and the initial drones we used come out of Air Force bases and not real military bases, not all Air Force bases, but here in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, you got them in Midland, Texas, Corpus Christi. These are big drones, look like small planes that fly at high altitude. Yeah. Then you have some smaller drones that are agent operated. The problem is anybody can operate these drones, and you have areas like, for example, I'll use El Paso, Texas as an example, an international city with Juarez that has an international airport. You got El Paso International Airport. You had Fort Bliss. You've got a lot of legitimate air traffic. So just having drones flying over can be a problem. But to your point, in areas that are remote, the areas where you have agents away from commercial and private air traffic, the drones are a great tool that can continually adapt and advance. And there's technologies out there that can help, not only identify, but classify the type of threat we're facing. So, that is where that technology comes to our advantage, because the bad guys use it. I mean, I had the first anti-drone system on the border when I was chief in Yuma, and we literally would take over clandestine drones that were smuggling, a pound or two of heroin or methamphetamine. And of course, then the bad guys would use it to scout Border Patrol locations. So yeah, we've got to meet and exceed the bad guys' capabilities. The problem is they don't play by the rules. We have to. So we've got to follow FAA requirements and everything else. So it's a process, but believe me, they're out there, they're working in our advantage, and we're continue to amp it up. And we've got the support from Congress to make that happen under the big bill that was passed.
Listen, I'm up against the hard break. I have a minute left to go. Why don't you tell our listening audience what you want us to know about anything of what you participated over the last 20 years? We have exactly 30 seconds. Go ahead, Chief.
Well, I would just say this, that politics aside, border security is national security. It's an enduring mission. So, yeah, there's a lot of money attached to it, but it's required because as long as there's threats around the world, that are threatening us. We have to keep our border secure. The southwest border is well underway. It's the most secure border I've ever had. We've got the northern border we have to address. We have coastals, and we need to bring accountability to the immigration system. So that's why we have these operations going after these criminals. We have to continue to fight this. It's complex because we're dealing with people, but the premise is simple. You violate U.S. laws either at our border or while you're here between the border, you have to pay a consequence. And that's what this administration is doing. And that's the right thing to do when you have a country that is based on the rule of law.
Chief Chris Clem, I thank you for calling in today. I thank you for being my friend. Like Senator Dave McCormick, you are always there for me. I wish you only the best luck. We didn't get a chance to talk about what you're actually doing. We ran out of time. I'll get you on Sunday morning for an hour because you have too many things going on and too many irons in the fire. I would love to hear what you're doing on an everyday basis. You are listening. Go ahead.
Happy to join in, Barry. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you, my
to join
friend.
in.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thanks, my friend. You are listening to the Midday Show. Had to cut him off because we're up against a hard break. You are listening to Barry Sable, 1210 WPHT. We'll see you on the other side with Colonel Rob Manis.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes owed to the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you may now be eligible for relief through current IRS initiatives for struggling taxpayers. In some cases, taxpayers may qualify to reduce as much as 99% of what they owe. You may already be experiencing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or audits and be unaware of this important information. Call Guardian Tax now to see what relief you may be eligible for at 800-404-6851. By taking action today, you may be able to stop all collections and resolve your tax problem before your tax problem gets worse. Tax experts are standing by to review your case and fight to slash your debt dramatically. Don't let your tax problem get worse and miss this time-sensitive opportunity. Check your eligibility with Guardian Tax now. Call 800-404-6851. 800-404-6851. That's 800-404-6851.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah, so green.
USA keeper was decent enough.
Didn't have much to do.
99 minutes.
Not a single goal. Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $365 in bonus bets just for signing up.
At least someone scored.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Away from new strikes against Iran, ABC's Stephen Portnoy has details.
What we heard the president say is that he has just spoken to the Prime Minister of Israel, the heads of Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, will soon be talking to Turkey. He said the Strait of Hormuz will be open. He mentioned that the U.S. has been engaged in what had been secret missions to take ships, oil tankers, out of the Strait of Hormuz, transiting them through to the global marketplace.
Just hours after FISA extension measures failed in both the House and Senate over Bill Pulte's role as acting D&I director, President Trump announced the nomination of U.S. Attorney and former SEC Chair Jay Clayton to lead the agency. ABC's Catherine Falders has more on Clayton's experience.
While he is a highly respected lawyer, he sits at the top of one of the most largest and arguably one of the most important U.S. attorney's offices in the country. The question is, does he really have that much more national security experience than Bill Pulte, the previous person who Trump said was going to serve as acting, does?
Celebrations in New York City over the New York Knicks' last-minute Game 4 win last night against the San Antonio Spurs, leading police to arrest more than 50 people. Outside Madison Square Garden, New York police say due to rowdy fans and picking fights and climbing poles. Authorities say 10 officers were injured. And in Mexico, protests ahead of the World Cup's first match in Mexico City. Demonstrators using the high-profile event to bring light to other causes, including missing individuals. Mexico now co-hosting the World Cup with Canada and the U.S. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the secret war on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
In Texas, near the Mexican border, a driver of an 18-wheeler involved in a pursuit near the border is in custody, now facing charges of human trafficking. That incident ending in a dramatic rescue.
At the checkpoint near Falfurrias, Texas, Border Patrol agents ordered a secondary inspection of a tractor-trailer rig after a canine indicated something suspicious, but the driver sped away. Officers deployed spikes, flattening the truck's tires, but it kept going and, running on its rims, caught fire before stopping.
Hey, let's get some fire extinguishers!
Body-worn cameras captured state troopers' desperate attempts to open the trailer.
Get 'em out, get 'em out, get 'em out!
39 people, thought to be undocumented immigrants, were rescued from the burning trailer while the driver was arrested. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Vance Bolter, the man charged in the attacks against Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota last June, changed his plea to guilty today in his federal case. Bolter admitted he shot and killed Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and also attempted to kill Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. U.S. Attorney for the District of Minnesota, Daniel Rosen, discussed their decision on the change of plea agreement.
When you have a defendant that is prepared to plead guilty, take consecutive life terms plus to ensure that he never sees freedom again in his entire life. That was an opportunity that we just could not pass up.
Bolter initially pleaded not guilty to 6 federal counts. He still faces state charges in the killings. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
In Africa, 5-year-old Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her must walk miles every day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom that expands their minds, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses caused by dirty water. At World Vision, care about clean water runs deep. Deep enough to reach 1 new person with clean water every 10 seconds. Because every child, every person, everywhere deserves clean water and a chance to rise to their full potential. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
The afternoon show
To the midday show, Barry Sable. Go ahead, play that song. Let me hear that song. I love that song.
Turn it
That Mr. Newman, boy.
Time to do it all again.
Bring back memories.
From diamonds and deals, let's do it again. It's Barry Sable this afternoon here on 1210. With friends dropping by and stories to share. There's always something happening when Barry's on the air. From diamonds and gold to stories untold and a few good friends. It never gets old. Stories, smiles, a few surprises too. Spend your afternoon with Barry and the crew. It's the afternoon show with special host Barry Sable. Be sure to join Barry Sable and friends every Sunday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Mr. Newman, I thank you. That's as good as the jingle. You love it, you love it. You know she's going to love it. A Barry Sable Diamond. Listen, by the way, I'm going to be sitting in a busy week for Uncle Barry. I'll be sitting in for my friend Tom Hazelby, who is on vacation Saturday morning, 8 to 9. And then I'll come right back Sunday doing my normal show at 10 o'clock. And let me tell you, I got to sit down and see who I have. I'll figure it out in a second. But I have two great guests. On Sunday is a Peter Deutsch, who has spent umpteen time in living in Israel. So it's good. And he's a former state representative, I believe, of Florida. And then I have another gentleman. I'll get his name in a second. Who is going to be on the air. We're going to be talking about kids. He is an attorney, and I'll get his name in a minute. I got to look through my notes. He is suing either the state of New Jersey or the school system over transgender children. Very interesting conversation I'll be having with him. So, Justin, I'm sitting here for an hour. I know you broke, some news broke from the White House. Matt, I'm sorry. Tell me what's going on, Mr. Matt.
Well, all day yesterday and for a portion of today, actually, we heard Donald Trump saying that he was basically done negotiating with Iran and that the U.S. was going to hit Iran hard tonight. He even suggested that he could potentially seize Karg Island, which is where 90% of Iran's oil exports are. Then, abruptly, those threats stopped, and we weren't sure why. Well, he's in the Oval Office now, and he just explained to reporters why there is no more threat of escalation. He says he reached a settlement. This is cut number 20, Justin.
Day. I know you'll never be satisfied, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran.
Yeah, we'll
and
see.
We're going to be subject to finalization of documents, which should get done over the next few days. Probably have a signing maybe in Europe. And it's a great thing. Stock market's up 1,000 points. That means they like the deal. See, that means they like, if the market goes down, that means they don't like the deal. But it's been up. Oil's dropped. Oil will start coming down to, I think, even lower than it was before.
Now, we don't have any details of what the deal consists of just yet, at least not that I've seen. However, he did say that Vice President Vance could travel to Europe as soon as this weekend to sign this deal that he's negotiated with the Iranians. And assuming the deal is signed, the Strait of Hormuz would immediately open. So this is cut 21.
Took them out at night. And the Strait will officially open as soon as we sign, which could be soon, very soon, maybe over the weekend, in Europe. I won't be able to be there, but JD will be there, Vice President, and some of the people. Steve Witkoff did a great job, Jared. So we'll take some questions, but right now we're here to talk about.
You know, Matt, I don't know if I believe this or not. We've heard this now for the last 2 months. You know I love the president. You know, I'm in his corner 1,000%. I believe he knows what he's doing, but I don't trust the Iranians. Just ask the Israelis; they'll tell you.
No, I agree with you. I hope there's an agreement, and I hope it's a good deal. However, I wouldn't be at all surprised. I know the phrase he used the other day was that the Iranian leadership was tapping him along, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if this was another example of that, and just a method for them to basically avoid getting bombed this evening and push kind of kick that can down the road.
So let me ask you a question: if that was to happen, do you think energy costs will drop as rapidly, because that's the only thing that you hear from the left and that side of the American population. When is energy costs going to become lower and gas at the pump lower? What are your thoughts on that?
I would think that if the agreement is real and it is signed and subsequently the Strait of Hormuz is opened, that there would be a significant dip in the cost of fuel. I'm just a massive dip, because I know yesterday Trump had mentioned that there were a few shipments of Iranian oil that the U.S. was basically escorting through the Strait of Hormuz at night that the Iranians didn't know about. But I think even that would have been a significant decrease in what would have typically gone through the strait. I think the estimation is it would be about 200 ships that went through the Strait of Hormuz over the course of a month, and the waterway typically has 3,000 ships per month. So a pretty drastic difference.
Matt, I want to bounce something off of you. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to watch the Southern Poverty Law Center. I guess it was a congressional hearing, and they had this guy, Brian Fair, who is the interim president and CEO of SPLC. And, I just looked at this guy, and he didn't want to answer all the questions. Frankly, I know you know a little bit about this. Can you give me and the listeners an update for the research you've done?
Yeah, that testimony was disastrous. So Brian Fair, as you mentioned, chairman of the Southern Poverty Law Center, he wasn't able to explain why pro-life groups are synonymous with white extremism. He did a terrible job clarifying why Charlie Kirk and TPUSA were classified by his organization as hate groups. Prior to participating in these hearings, typically people will testify. People that testify in these hearings will go through these intense prep sessions known as murder boards, where they'll have former members of Congress, communication staffers, a whole host of people grill them and ask them hypothetical gotcha questions. They'll pinpoint weak spots in their records. They're supposed to be pretty well prepared prior to stepping in front of a congressional hearing, and yet
He was terrible.
Brian Fair's team did not do a great job of getting him geared up and ready to go, because these were questions he knew that were going to be lobbied at him, and he had no answer for any of them.
And for people that don't know, why don't you just give us a quick 2-second rundown on why these guys are in hot water? Am I correct in saying they were taking in funds to represent groups that were, how would I say it, opposite the values and policies, and then was subsidizing the groups that they were funding? I mean, how did this happen? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, so basically they would label a group as white supremacist.
That's right.
Then they would actually have people inside that group that they would send money to they claim, provide information. But the DOJ alleges it was more than that. It was basically inadvertently funding these organizations and allowing them to continue to exist, since there really aren't that many people that agree with these insane ideologies, thankfully.
Only in America, my friend. Listen, Rob Manis, who's trying to call back, he says there's no answer. Maybe we should try calling him, or if we get him, you guys will let me know. In the interim, I just want to tell you, I came across something that I thought was kind of cool. Mark Warburg, I'll tell you what say it, Wahlberg, however you say it. I never get anybody's name right. Calls out Hollywood Democrats. He said, if you don't like the USA, please leave and take your friends, Alex Baldwin, Cher, Jennifer Lawrence, Miley Cyrus, Barbara Streisand, Matt Damon, Oprah, and Colin Kaepernick with you. I guess the question is, do you believe in that? I mean, I am so sick and tired of people that are not supporting the United States of America. And I don't care if you're a lefty or righty, you have to get on board, or an independent. We're doing the best we can to basically overstep what happened in the last administration. Trump has been giving such a lousy hand, for God's sakes, and I think he's really doing a great job. I wonder, guys, if and when he is no longer... Okay, great. They're going to have in a second. My question to you quickly, Matt, is one of these days Donald Trump is not going to be in office. if another Republican was in office, is the Republican still going to get the same grief, or is it just about Donald Trump and that's it?
I think whoever the Republican in office is going to get pretty much the same level of grief.
I agree.
Didn't people hate George W. Bush for a while? He seems to be a pretty nice guy by all accounts. He's not Hitler reincarnated, and yet you had Kanye West famously claiming that he hated black people after Hurricane Katrina. So I think it doesn't matter who's in office.
I'll tell you one thing. It's a pleasure doing a show when you have a Harvard grad with you. My God, I don't even have to prepare. My next guest has a lifelong record of service to our nation. Now he hosts his own podcast, The Rob Maness Show, recently published a book called What Can You Do About It? Taking Real Action Against Corruption, Radicalism, and Moral Decay to Save America. The word on the street is that his lovely wife, Candace, is still in love with him. You, Colonel Magnus, I never get it right. One word answer. Yes or no? Is she still in your corner after all these years?
Yes.
Nobody asked you that question ever, do they?
Yes.
No.
No. That's the only yes or no question I can answer with a yes or no, too.
Listen, you created this book, so let me read you a statement and then get your response. The right-wing news and opinion editorial space at large has failed to leverage influencers' massive platforms to organize grassroots change and propose real solutions that outlast the 4-year election cycle. And elected Republicans often prove no more useful than Democrats. What a mouthful. Can you please explain to me what that paragraph means?
It's pretty simple. I'm a straightforward guy, Barry.
Yes, you are. That's why I asked the question.
It means we have all these massive independent media outlets and some corporate like the Wall Street Journal, Fox News, and those kind of things. And absolutely, almost at the time we wrote the book, absolutely almost none of them have taken the opportunity to create the machinery that we see in the corporate media that 100% backs the left in this country. You were just talking about the attacks on Donald Trump and how they'll just shift to the next guy or gal or whoever it is and do the same kind of attacks. That's true. It's been that way for a long time. But we have the machinery, but those folks running those machines and the personalities involved, it's time to step up to the plate. Some are doing that. I think Steve Bannon and his war room, he's got a concerted effort in some quarters, like out in Texas with a anti-Sharia law movement, where they've actually turned it into voting power. It had a huge number of voters vote in the primary, and coming up in the general, they'll vote on this resolution again to ban Sharia law in the state of Texas, because there's several large pockets of Islamists that are trying to create Sharia law enclaves and run them as if they're in some country in the Middle East, like the country of Iran, of all places.
How concerned should we be with this Muslim movement? As you could see now, and I did a little homework this morning and watched the news rather than play 9. The question is Europe is now feeling this radical Muslim movement through, I think, France, through Great Britain, and they're starting to respond in Ireland as well. What are your thoughts about that and what's happening here?
Well, that gets to the second part of that first statement. The feckless politicians on the Republican side that we put in office are cowards. They will not face this down. And by the way, they're actually enacting legislation that further enables the invasion here inside the United States. It's not just a Democrat politician issue. They're Republican politicians. They're getting voted out of office quite frequently now that support that kind of activity. And it's just antithetical to the Constitution of the United States. It's not compatible with the values in the Declaration of Independence that we're celebrating 250 years since that document, probably the most important document ever produced in human history from the perspective of people rights and self-governance. And these politicians don't believe in it anymore. So we've got to do something about it. My proposals in the book is it starts at the individual level, obviously.
Of course.
Organize locally. And local action has national impact, as my friend Mike Flynn says all the time.
Are the Republicans disappointing you that they're not pushing back hard enough against these radical movements from Democrats? When you have the gentleman in Maine and the gentleman in Texas that are running for office, and these are really evil, bad people, and you find that Bernie Sanders and the likes of that are supporting this kind of movement towards socialism and communism, are you shocked after all the years that you put in the service to see that these people are being supported by many?
That's why I entered the political arena in 2013. That's exactly the reason why I did, because the Republicans are disappointments. Yeah. And quite often, more often than not, they side with the Democrats on the most important issues like these Islamic immigrants and illegal aliens, too, now that we've had. They side with them, and they want them here. And the more of them that come here, the more apt it's going to be that they're going to do what they do in Islam, and that's conquer the territory. And someday you will not be able to worship freely as a Christian, for instance, because they will keep you from doing it.
It concerns me, Colonel. It really concerns. And I yell and scream every time I get an opportunity to be on the air, and people might say, Uncle Barry's nuts. No, I'm not nuts. I've seen this happen in Germany. We've seen this history before, and it's happening again, and we are allowing it to happen in this country. Look what we have in New York. Just look at that scene. Here's a guy, forget the fact that it's Israeli or Jewish, he did not even participate in the parade. Doesn't that tell you where his mindset is?
Oh, it absolutely does. And the bad part with Mondami is he's not only an Islamist, he's also a communist.
Yep.
Or a Marxist, whatever you want to call it. And he believes in that, and he's trying to govern by that. So it's a major challenge. And more often than not, Republicans have helped them get power and keep power, and we need to end that.
Yep. Let me ask you a question. In your mind, and we've talked about this off the air, is anybody ever going to be held accountable? We saw what happened to Donald Trump. In a matter of 2 years, they had that guy all wrapped up in litigation and 4 or 5 lawsuits. Why can't this happen on the other side when we have all of this information in Minnesota and other states? Why are things not moving quicker?
Well, because the size of the federal government is entirely too large, my friend.
Yep.
And with size and comes funding, and with funding comes power. And when you have an entrenched bureaucracy that's not elected, you have entrenched power, and that power more often than not tends to be to the negative of what the American people want and what people like Donald Trump are trying to do, because the American people voted them in to do it.
Yep. Well, the only thing I could tell you, I don't know if you had a chance to listen, Chris Clem was just on, Border Chief Chris Clem, and we were talking about all the people that have come through the border. I mean, it's just incredible. Mm-hmm. When you have 10 or 15 million, and they're still here. They're still here. Yep. Yeah, you've gotten out some of the criminals, but all these people are here, and they are draining society. Am I correct in your thoughts as well? They are absolutely making the American people pay for them in most cases.
Oh, in all cases.
Yep.
It's our tax dollars that are funding this. One of the things that you're seeing happen, though, and this is preventable, but only if we act and we do take the right actions, is if you notice what's happening in Belfast. I think you mentioned it coming out of the break.
Yes.
That is different than what's happening in England and in Paris and France and everything. What's happening in Belfast is the citizen army is awakened. Mm-hmm. And they are going to set an example of using violence to take this down and end it. And it's unfortunate. Nobody wants that to happen. I would much rather see it happen through legal action. But deport all these people and those kind of things, send them back where they came from.
Is it actually going to happen? You're really going to send back 10 or 12 million people? You really believe in your heart that's going to happen?
absolutely, you can make it happen.
Okay, well, listen, from your mouth to God's ears.
And a lot more cheaply than a lot of the pundits out there say it can happen, because what happens is when you start really enforcing mass deportations, the voluntary self-deportation increases incrementally. We saw a little bit of that already in this administration when the right things were happening, but every time it gets dialed back, what happens? That stops, and more people start coming in.
Well, let me ask you a question.
You got to keep it up, and you got to see it through to the end.
Why can we not, at least? Why is it so difficult? And I've said it 100 times on the air for this administration to make it compensatory for you to at least present yourself in this country, legal or illegal, to say that I'm here, and here's my ID or whatever it may be, and you can do what you're going to do with me. But at least we know who these people are and make decisions. Right now, we don't know how many people we have. We don't know where they live. We don't know what's coming up. You know, the games are coming. I think they start tonight. I pray to God for the safety of America. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you're talking about the FIFA World Cup is coming. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we've had to keep a referee that's on the terror watch list from Somalia, of all places, from coming into the country. Even that faced pushback by the people that are the useful idiots in this country. So we have a major challenge. Yeah, I'm concerned about the safety of the people in this country. We have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that are untracked, unknown. Many of them are bad actors that came through the southern border during the Biden administration and were released into the wild inside the country, and they're not monitored and not tracked. But there are certain numbers and large numbers of them that we do know who they are because they're on government subsistence.
Yep.
So we do know who they are, and we should be tracking them down, and we should be deporting them because they don't need to be in this country. And the longer we wait to do that, the more we're going to look like Belfast.
Listen, with the last 2 minutes that you and I have left, I know that you've got to run. Why don't you tell us exactly why you wrote your book, why your book is important, and tell us where you could get it, please.
Yeah, I wrote the book because the most often asked question that I get from American citizens, whether it's in the military or at a town hall meeting, is when talking about issues that make them mad, it's, well, what can I do about that? Americans have individualism like Teddy Roosevelt in our DNA. We always ask that question. Well, I wrote a book. Instead of doing a straight biography, I used stories and my experiences from my life to write a book to tell people how I've learned to think about how to answer that question. You know, the left out organizes us. They out-fundraise us, and they out-hack us in advocacy and changing policy with public pressure, and they do it all the time. We've got to get better at that. This book is there for people to use as a tool to learn how to do that. It's just my view of it.
Yep. No, I'm with you 1,000%. Where can we get it, and where do we find it?
Go to robmaness.com, ROBMANESS.com. If you go to a bonus chapter page, you can sign up and get the bonus chapter, and right above that is an image with a link in it that takes you to the Amazon page to buy the full book.
And before we go, tell us about your podcast. Where can we find you?
It's the Rob Maness Show on Worldview Tube Network and on all of my social medias. You can find me Monday through Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. We're usually live, but I'm doing a bunch of tape shows right now because I'm traveling a lot in the last couple of months.
There you go. Listen, tell your wife, Candace, that we are grateful for her taking care of you so you could support our country in every which way. Colonel Rob Maness, you're always there for me. You never tell me no. You are one of my most favorites as well. I thank you for calling in today. God bless you, and God bless America, my friend.
Thanks, Barry. I appreciate it, and thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless America.
You bet. Listen, we're up against the hard break. You are listening to the Midday Show. Barry Sable with you, and we will see you on the other side of the break. Justin, Matt, let's take a break, boys. Thank you.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
You know what I love? American-made products, baby. That's right. It's Rich Zioli. American-made products, and that's what you get from Emmons Roofing and Siding. Owens Corning shingles are made in New Jersey. Certainteed siding made right outside of Philly. Provia windows and doors handcrafted in Ohio. And because Emmons is platinum with Owens Corning, your roof comes with a lifetime workmanship warranty. That's accountability on American-made quality from an American company right in our backyard. EmmonsRoofing.com. EmmonsRoofing.com.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by LendSeek.
Salesforce is making a big financial commitment to developing artificial intelligence in France. The $2 billion investment includes launching a new AI innovation hub in Paris, as well as expanding support for AI education and workforce training. Salesforce CEO and Chair Mark Benioff calls France one of the world's great centers for AI innovation, thanks to a strong research ecosystem and entrepreneurial talent. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
As dads, it's our job to capture as many memories with our kids as possible. It's also our job to embarrass them. And if we're lucky, we get to do both. That's why I'm thankful my son created Legacy Box, the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos.
And I'll never recover from the time you showed up to my middle school dance to disco in front of everyone. Thanks, Dad. But he's right. Simply fill your Legacy Box with your old VHS, camcorder tapes, film reels, and photos, and we'll do the rest.
And in just a couple of weeks, you'll get your originals back, along with a DVD, thumb drive, or cloud delivery. Stuff that even an old man like me can figure out.
Plus, for a limited time, we're offering a special Father's Day sale.
Go to legacybox.com/radio to get an incredible deal. Buy today to take advantage of this limited offer. Go to legacybox.com/radio
to get started and save.
legacybox.com/radio.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing. I want a reward for dominating. Like Daily Prize Match on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples. That was easy.
What if being in recovery from a mental or substance use disorder was something we proudly showed the world? Millions of people are in recovery, sharing hope and support with family, friends, and community. Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's perfect. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I am back. You are listening to Barry Sable, the Midday Show, 1210 WPHT, Philadelphia. Ha, Justin, I mean, we were talking off the break. You have to explain to me what happened in that Knick game last night. For God's sakes, they were up but 29 points.
Historical lead.
Tell me.
Historical lead in the NBA Finals. They don't play safe basketball. They spend the entire third quarter just chucking up threes, trying to regain the momentum they had from the first half.
Yep.
And nothing's falling. You've got 7'5" Wembanyama taking contested three-pointers from the wings. I don't know why.
Yep.
And the Knicks just, as they've done this entire playoff run, just chip away and chip away and chip away. Next thing you know, it's crunch time. You're up by a tie game. De'Aaron Fox gets a clutch steal, goes for a contested layup instead of running the clock out with 10 seconds left.
I can't believe it either.
OG Anunoby gets the block, which I've seen pictures of. OG fouls him on that contested layup. They don't call it. Knicks get the ball 5 seconds, and then they double-team Jalen Brunson, which I agreed with because Jalen Brunson in clutch time is unreal. And he chucks up a shot, and OG Anunoby, like he's been all throughout these playoffs, gets the most unbelievable tip in with 1 second left. And the Knicks steal a game that they should have. They had no right to win.
I agree with you. And I got to tell you, by the way, we should really give out a shout-out to Leon Rose, who's the general manager of the New York Knicks, a South Jersey guy, and Worldwide Wes, who is, I believe, from Camden, who is the senior advisor to the Knicks and their success. And I got to tell you a quick story. I am and was very friendly with Wes at one time. I don't get a chance to see him because he spends time in New York. I got to tell you, he brought Shaq into Barry Sable Diamonds, and I made Shaq a ring many moons ago. The guy, I got to tell you the truth. When the guy came in, his head almost hit the ceiling. I had fans. It was unbelievable. But he was a great guy, and I made him a big ring. It was huge. And so I just got to say, why the Knicks could do it, okay, Justin, and we can't, I don't know why.
General man. Thankfully, Daryl Morey's gone after 6 agonizing years.
I hope so.
New guy coming in. He's the former GM of the Cavs. Cavs have built an exciting young core, so hopefully he can repeat his success here in Philadelphia.
And they made us miserable. Basketball has made us miserable. We have downplayed basketball for so long. And when they dumped all those games and they had all those draft picks,
The
that was
process.
the process. That was disgraceful, guys. I got to tell you, time flies by, It's unbelievable. Listen, guys, my next guest is the mayor of a town called Chemung, New Jersey. It's a scenic rural community in Burlington, New Jersey, covering about 45 square miles. And the population, I think, is no more than 6,700. Renowned for its natural beauty, historical significance, and relaxed country atmosphere. It is a highly desirable family-friendly area. Furthermore, Chemung is a Lenape. Listen to this, guys. Lenape, Native American word meaning, I guess I kind of botched that a little bit, but the word Chemung is meaning a place of horn or a place of many deer. Also, it was the first Indian reservation from 1758 to 1802. This area was home to the Brethren Reservation. I guess that's how you would say it, because, I botch names, which was first and only Native American reservation in New Jersey. Mayor Mike, are you there? Did I get you?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Barry. It's Mike DeCroce. How are you?
Yes, therefore I flipped my sheets over. I'm doing great, my friend. Did I get it right? Did I give your town a correct description?
Absolutely. I think you nailed it. Chemung is 45 square miles. Basically, we are in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, and most people from your listening audience will know or recognize the Pinelands. It is basically hails from Joseph Wharton, who donated a lot of that land to the state of New Jersey, and now it's open space, hundreds of thousands of acres. And Chemung is, most people will know Marlton, Medford Lakes. We're a little bit east of that. And we cover, a very large area. We've got more deer than people, as you're right. We got 6,600 residents.
Yep.
And it really is quite a neat town. I like to call it a little slice of heaven.
Yep. And history. Great history. Am I correct? Really great history.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about the Brotherton Acres. That was the Indian reservation that was directly in Chemung.
Yep.
And as I understand it, in the early 1800s, the Native Americans basically said, we had enough. We're going to go out. They gave up their land here and went up to New York and started there. But they're the Lenape or Lenape Delaware Indians that were here.
Yep.
And so we have a nice Native American heritage in Chemung, which we honor and we're proud to have.
Mike, tell us basically, what is it like to be mayor of a town such as yours? What are the responsibilities and how much affiliation do you actually have in politics in South Jersey?
Well, I am a Republican mayor. Chemung is a Republican town and surrounded by a lot of Democrat towns. And people often ask me what it's like to be a Republican mayor in a state where Republicans are heavily outnumbered.
Yep.
My answer is always the same. When the snow falls, nobody asks the plow driver, are you a Republican or a Democrat?
That's
right?
True. Yeah.
And local government is different from national politics. Residents want their roads fixed, their taxes kept as low as possible, the parks maintained, and the most important thing is that their families are kept safe.
Yeah.
And that's my job. And I'm happily in Chemung, we basically have no crime and have had no crime. I mean, it's very minuscule. So we're very fortunate that way. And when that element is not there and you don't have those issues arising, a lot of other things fall into place.
Yep. And I got to tell you something. I did a little research. And by the way, you guys, your poverty rate is like 3% in that township. That's pretty good stuff, to be honest with you. And I think that's one of the reasons that you're a safe town, man. I mean, you don't have all the shenanigans going on. And I surely hope that your police district is doing a great job to make sure that none of this nonsense. In Philly, a kid, I had a telephone, and 2 kids tried to rob him the other day, and they killed him. I mean, this is absolutely nonsense. I'm sure you agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is absolutely horrible that Billy was killed over a cell phone. It's just so tragic. And you know what, Barry? It amazes me is that people have become so desensitized to that. They start to think that that's normal, that you can't walk down the street or you can't have a cell phone or that somebody's going to rip you off or rob you. And fortunately, in Chemung, we have neighbors who look out after each other, and we don't have that kind of issue. And so that makes so many other things so much easier.
Yep.
So my job basically is to deal with potholes, or sometimes there'll be, the speeding issues on our rural roads. And but I'll tell you what, I get as many calls of compliments as I do from as complaints, and that's a neat thing when somebody just calls to say, "Hey, this is a really nice thing I wanted to tell you about." And I think a lot of mayors in a lot of towns never get those type of calls.
Listen, Mike, I'm up against a hard break. Is there a possibility I could hold you over for another 15 minutes or so?
Absolutely.
There
Would
you
love
go.
to.
Listen, I appreciate it. You are listening to the midday show, I would imagine. I guess it's me, Barry Sable, here. Am I right or wrong, guys? I'm trying to do a great job. Hold down the fort like a guy like Rick Cioli did for so many years. And God willing and God blessing, he's healthy, and hopefully we'll see more of him in the future. You are listening to the Midday Show. See you on the other side.
Summer is here, and that means pool days and patio nights. But is your uneven concrete making your backyard feel more like a construction zone than a vacation spot? Stop worrying about stubbed toes and stumbles. Keystone Guncrete can level your pool deck and patio quickly and cleanly, saving you thousands over the cost of pouring new concrete. We'll have your backyard party ready before your water even gets warm. Head to KeystoneGuncrete.com. Remember, Guncrete is spelled with a K. Mention 1210 and we'll take $50 off your project.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, it's Mike Quick. It's time to cut your old point-of-sale systems and revolutionize your business with PDQ POS. Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ have been the industry leaders for over 35 years. They offer everything from mobile POS to self-serve kiosks and the best service and support in the industry. For the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available, trust PDQ POS. No matter how many locations you have, they'll build a custom solution for your business. Visit PDQPOS.com.
Bring on the fun and bring home a new Honda with a great deal on your favorite Honda vehicles. And finally, take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2026 KBB.com best value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.49% APR on a 2026 HR-V.
Visit Piazza Hyundai of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield today.
See dealer for financing details. Based on 2026 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
Hi, this is Dave Barlow from Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury, New Jersey. Baseball season is heating up, and so are the savings here at Barlow. The All-Star Buick GMC lineup is waiting for you. Leading off, the powerful GMC Sierra, built to knock expectations out of the park and be the MVP of every road trip. Visit Barlow Buick GMC this summer, where honest pricing and dedicated service are always part of the lineup, or shop 24/7 at barlowautogroup.com. Buick, exceptional by design. GMC, we are professional grade.
This is the sound of Jack buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
I am back. Barry Sable sitting in for the midday show. Man, this time it's flying by. I'm talking to Mayor Mike DeCroce of Chemung, New Jersey. Michael, I want to bounce something off you. If the grass looks greener on the other side, stop staring, stop comparing, stop complaining, start watering the grass you're standing on. Your response, my friend.
Yeah, my response is that is the perfect attitude to have is people need to take responsibility for themselves and make their situation better. For example, what pops into my mind is that the state of New Jersey has now indicated that each town has to have a street sweeper.
Yep.
And you look at our little town, there's no trash out there, number one, and people go out and they clean up and take care of their own yards. So we have like little stupid issues like that coming down from the state that mandate you to let the government do something else and increase taxes on people instead of letting people do the right thing. Laws are made because people can't follow the rules, basically. And luckily, I'm going to say in Chemung, we have a lot of rule followers. The other night, we had an election party at a place called Carla's Classic Cars. So in Little Chemung, which is located just about an hour east of Philadelphia, between Philly and Atlantic City.
Uncle Barry was there.
Yeah, Uncle Barry was there. It was you should see this place in Carla's Classic Cars.
Unbelievable.
In downtown Chemung. And I'll explain downtown Chemung. There's a law office, which is my law office, the Wawa, La Campanola, which is a great Italian restaurant, and a cornfield.
Wow.
And 50 yards down from there is Carla's Cars. And it's just amazing. We had Justin Murphy, who is from the neighboring town of Tabernacle.
Yep.
And he recently just won the GOP nomination for Republican on behalf of the U.S. Senate. It was a great affair, and we're hoping that people start to know his name and will support him, and let's elect a U.S. senator to take on Cory Booker, take over for him, and make this state a little nicer.
Yeah, Michael, he's going to be on hopefully at the 5 o'clock hour, roughly. I asked the question to you. I live in Jersey as well. Why is New Jersey blue? What is wrong with the people that are living in New Jersey? Don't they realize taxes and everything else that goes along? What is the problem that these people are having in voting? What's the problem, my friend? Help Uncle Barry out.
Yeah, I think the problem is there are more people in the wagon than are pulling the wagon.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, if you have people that are become institutionalized and waiting for a check to come, and that is their life, they don't take steps to better themselves. And, we were talking about personal responsibility earlier, and I think that's one of the things that people need to know, that they have a shot, right? You don't have a guarantee in America that you're going to succeed, but you have a guarantee that you have a shot to succeed.
Yeah.
So you have to work harder, work faster, work smarter. Everybody's got to do that. Yep. And I've had people Democrats come tell me, Mayor, I didn't vote for your party, but I voted for you. And that's always the highest compliment that you can, a public servant can get. But I don't understand it. I think it's, that so many people are getting a check from the government, and those old tired lines that they have been basically plying for the last 40 or 50 years, you could put the picture of a dog on the side of a milk carton and people will vote for it. It doesn't matter what they say. And people need to change. And I think we are at the pinnacle where that's happening in this country.
If you were the campaign manager, and let's talk about, say, Justin Murphy, what would you suggest that he does? You saw Chitterelli put forth a gallant effort, came up, I guess, pretty short. What would you suggest to a guy like Justin Murphy if you were in charge of his campaign?
The first thing I would do is acknowledge that Booker has $22 million and he has $2,000.
Yeah.
So now we have to find a way to get his message out without any money. First thing I would do would be going to every subway stop, every concert, every football game, the FIFA World Cup. I would be out there with my team of people, introducing them, shaking hands, and letting people know that there's an option. And the option is lower taxes, personal responsibility, safer streets, better opportunity, and not this stuff that we're seeing that's really out of whack in the country, all the things that we've been exposed to every day that is just crazy. So that's the first thing I would do. And then I would get as much airtime as I could for him in radio and TV. He needs exposures. And the third thing is to figure out how to motivate people who don't come out. There's just too much apathy going on. For example, a farmer came in my office last week, and I asked him, he was a registered Republican. He said, but I don't vote. And I said, why not? He goes, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of people feel that way, my friend.
Yep. So you have 1 million people that stayed home, 1 million Republicans that stayed home last year. So we would have to find a way to motivate them, to get them to come out. And then I would also do what I do for Justin or anybody else, is realize that I'm not just wanting the Republican votes. I want the Democrat votes and the independents, because I'm going to do the right thing for my town, and Justin will do the right thing for the state and the country. And that message has got to get out.
Yeah, well, listen, Ali beat Foreman. I watched that fight years ago. Nobody gave him a chance. 1980, the Olympic team, the hockey team, beat the world's best goalie and the best hockey team in the world at that time. Stranger things happen. I think this guy's got to work his tuchus off, to be honest with you, and I'm sure you know what that is. And he's willing. The problem is financially he needs funding, he needs support, and yes, you're right. Somehow the Republicans have to get Republicans out to vote.
And the other thing is for Republicans now to take his side and to be in his, to be back and let him be the one that succeeds. And all the, the nonsense that you hear about, I don't like this, I don't like that.
Yep.
It's time to put that behind us and to go ahead and be unified and realize this guy, he's for real. We just got to get his message out. And I'm happy to hear that you're going to have him on, because this will be a great way for him to get his message out to a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that listen to this midday show. And, I've had them on Sundays, but there's nothing like 1210 WPHT midday. I bet you there's 15 or 20,000 people listening. And if one person tells another person, my motto to me for Jersey should be, you're not allowed to vote unless you bring a neighbor. And that would help. That would help. You know what I mean?
I love it, Barry. I love it. That is perfect. People need to get their family to come out and bring their neighbor out. Exactly right, and make an evening of it.
Listen, I've got a minute left to go before I'm up against another hard break. Give me your closing thoughts on basically what's happening to this country and how can we defeat the negativism that the media has presented.
Yeah, I think that things are so cockeyed now that the pendulum is swinging back and people realize it. The beautiful thing about America is even if you're dumb and you have a knucklehead idea, you can still say it, right? Yep. And then we trust that people are going to be educated, that they're going to educate themselves, and they're going to research things and realize that just because somebody says something is not the way it needs to be. So we have to get back to God, country, and faith in each other, protect our neighbors, protect our towns, and do the right thing. Get people that are going to come in and do the right thing. We don't want people in office that are doing it just because they want money or because they want a great stock portfolio or because they want power.
Yep, this is very, very true, my friend. Listen, I want to thank you so much, Mayor Mike DeCroce, for joining me. I know I pushed you back a little bit today. I'll leave you with this thought. Stop seeing yourself through the eyes of someone who never saw you. Pretty interesting, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.
There you go. You're the best. You're the best mayor I know, Mike DeCroce.
Thank you, Uncle Barry.
Thanks for spending time with me. You are listening to the 1210 WPHT Midtime Show. Barry Sable sitting in. Love being here. Wish that I could sit here forever. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRCM.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers. And on the sidelines, we cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Hit the road this season to watch the Birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly. The official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
The all clear after hazmat crews responded today to a potential air quality issue at the high secured facility. The incident triggered by sophisticated sensors in certain sections, leading officials to issue a partial lockdown. Pentagon officials called it a false alarm. ABC's Alex Perche is outside the Pentagon.
It was a shelter in place. There were no evacuations here, according to those sources that talked to ABC News. The other thing that we learned is that for the vast majority of the Pentagon, which there's some 23,000 folks that work here, it was business as usual.
Language can oftentimes be a barrier between police and those on scene of a crime. Now one community has introduced something that can help.
In Renton, Washington, police officers have a new tool aimed at improving communication during encounters with those who don't speak English. This is what it sounds like.
Language set to Spanish.
Hello, I'm Officer Vanderhook with the Renton Police. How can I help you?
Hola. Every body cam can now translate into 56 different languages. They're hoping to use it during the World Cup as it approaches Seattle. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
On Wall Street today, stocks were up. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of nonstop talk from Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The afternoon show's here again with Uncle Barry and his friends. Turn it up and settle in. Time to do it all again. From diamonds and deals, let's do it again. It's Barry Sable this afternoon here on 1210 with friends dropping by and stories to share. every Sunday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
That Newman guy is a genius. Matt, can you tell me a little bit about this guy? I know what he did for Hazelby. He was great. I know what he's done for him. Who is this masked Lone Ranger guy?
Newman Price is like the WPHT Beethoven or Mozart. He
Oh
is
my
a
God.
musical genius, and he's so humble. He sent me that. By the way, he cranked this thing out. It was super nice of him to do in the first place because I'm sure it's time-consuming. Sends it to me, has me listen to it, and then says, "Is this good enough, do you think? Should I make any edits?" Don't mess with perfection.
Of
That
course
thing
not.
is a hit. I've been humming it all day long.
Does he do just PHT, or does he have a private practice outside of PHT?
I don't
Do you
actually
guys
know.
know?
He just mostly does stuff for PHT.
He's a genius. I got to tell you the
Oh, he's
truth.
great.
That guy, can I tell you something? He could really make it happen. Listen, guys, I know that PHT listeners love music, and I have a Kelly McLaughlin on the phone, and she's going to tell us somewhat what's going on August 14th to the 16th in Atlantic City. Rewind 69, a tribute to Woodstock, peace, love, rock and roll. Kelly McLaughlin, sound off.
Hi, Barry. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell me what's going on. I know that you're doing something at the Showboat, I believe. I think it's with Bart Blatstein,
Yes.
hotel. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, Tower Development. Yep, they took over the Showboat, so it's brand new.
Tell us what you're doing those few days.
Okay, so we decided to put on a tribute to Woodstock, and it's called Rewind 69.
Uh-huh.
It's not just a festival, it's a revival of a moment in history when music brought people together, and we're recreating that feeling for people. We're recreating the peace, the love, the unity, and the pure human connection. And we just figured people today are starving for something real. The festival gives them a place to breathe, to reconnect, and to remember what it felt like at that specific moment at Woodstock in 1969. So we're not just putting on another festival. We're putting on something that mattered to people, that defined a generation, and defined a generation of specific music that, the people today need to understand that music lives, and it lives in our grandparents and in our parents, and we want to bring that to Atlantic City.
Wow.
So we are literally transforming Atlantic City Boardwalk and the Garden Pier into a Woodstock revival.
Wow. Well, I have to tell you the truth. I hate to date myself. I graduated in 68. Bell bottoms, Nehru jacket, long hair. I mean, if someone's coming dressed that day or that few days, do we need to dress appropriately or what?
Listen, I invite it. I invite all the Woodstockers to come out in their bell bottoms and their flower halos and everything.
I love it.
I am obsessed with Woodstock, and the company that I work with, Recreation Concerts, we have meticulously literally recreated Woodstock, from Jimi Hendrix to Janis Joplin to CCR to Charlie Family Stone. We have 10 bands that are going to be showing up. We even have somebody coming in as Joe Cocker and an amazing blues woman, Pamela Renee Smith, is doing a special tribute to Richie Havens.
Kelly, tell us how we get tickets.
Okay, you can go right to our website. It's re/wind69festival.com. You can get tickets, you can get vendor applications, sponsorships, everything is right there for you.
Right. How many people could the garden hold? Do you have any idea how many people you really expect?
I mean, from what the Showboat said, we have about 30,000 people that, and it's not just the Garden Pier. It's about the boardwalk. It's about the vendors, the food trucks, stuff like that. So they're expecting about 30 to 40,000 people that weekend.
What a turnout, my friend. Listen, before the show goes off, I'm going to make sure that you call me on Sunday, the Barry Sable Show with Friends, so I could promote this again for you. I think that we need to make sure that rain or shine. Is it going to go off rain or shine? I know it's an outside venue.
Yeah, rain or shine. Now, the Garden Pier, it does have an overhang, so, you're not going to get all muddy and wet like Woodstock would have.
Yep.
But, it might bring in a little nostalgia for a little bit of rain that day, but yeah, it's rain or shine. And I invite everybody to come out and experience Woodstock as it should be, with the peace, the love, and the rock and roll.
There you go. One last question. From what hours to what hours?
Okay, so it's 3 days. It's August 14th to the 16th. The gates open up at 12 o'clock for the concert area, and that lasts until 8:30. And then the last day on the 16th is from 12 o'clock to 6:30.
One more time. How do we get tickets?
You go to re/wind69festival.com.
There you go. Kelly McLaughlin, thanks for weighing in on the Midday Show, 1210 WPHT.
Thanks so much, Barry.
Of course, my friend. Listen, my next guest, I couldn't wait to talk to him again. He is newly elected Justin Murphy for Senate. We're going to Washington, my friend. Tell me why.
Good afternoon. Good evening. How's 1210? Never saw it from this hour before. Looks good, though. How's everything?
Yeah, listen, it's a little strange for me, new audiences. I've done some middays before, but it's a treat. I had Mayor Mike on. What a great guy he is. He is so enthusiastic for you. He supports you in every which way. So why don't you tell us what this has been like for you over the last few days? I'm sure this has wreaked havoc for you, Justin. To say the least.
It certainly has. But Barry, we're fortunate and honored, for those that don't know, to have secured and won the nomination from the Republican Party for the United States Senate. We'll be taking on a Democrat opponent this November, and we're euphoric. We had a good competitive primary. The voters had 4 voters to choose from. I was blessed and fortunate and honored to be able to pull away with a win. And looking forward to November. We will have a campaign that's underway. We haven't stopped, no rest. We're taking a good conservative message to the people of the state of New Jersey, inspiring them. We will inspire them to vote for us this November. And with so much going on in the world and country, I think we can resonate with enough people. And maybe we can pull off an upset this November. Not too many are giving us a chance. It's New Jersey. It's a tough state for Republicans, but I think we've got a good sound of message and a nice way to convey it. And we will be out there working tirelessly to make sure that Mr. Booker has the political fight of his life.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I have no remorse in saying we need to switch seats from that guy. That guy to me has been worthless for the state of New Jersey. And he's just another one of these evil guys that I just don't understand. Why do they despise America, Justin? Why are the Democrats so hateful towards America that has given us the greatest country and the best sustenance in the whole world?
Well, you're right. It is perplexing. I mean, people that are successful, and you read about these billionaires, for example. I won't mention their names, but they're out there. They're funding these rioters, looters, demonstrators that are confronting police and then law enforcement, and these rioting, looting, burning, destroying. It's usually funded, planned, trained for, organized, and it comes from the very, very successful people. And it's perplexing. I mean, what is it that America did to you? That you're so angry about. And I think, Barry, in my opinion, if you look at your typical leftist today, not the older Depression era World War II Democrat, blue collar Democrat that worked for a living, fought this country's wars, built the country. The leftist of today is someone that's troubled. They're very angry. They're very unhappy people, and they're blaming it on whoever they're told to blame it on politically. America, white people, Christians, men, free markets, capitalism, and you name it. They have a revolution of the weak to fight. But they're unhappy people. They're miserable with themselves. I've never met a happy liberal in my life. I've never met someone who's far left that's a happy person. I think that's the problem. They're not happy people. Genuinely, they're miserable people that have some serious issues in life, and this is how they choose
it manifests itself through like political violence and militancy and this destructive behavior that it's ridiculous. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I said, someone like me, I struggle, pay the bills. I was raised by a single mother. Yep. I served in the Navy. And, life has not been easy. I have my blessings for sure. But you wonder, like, why? I mean, you read about the AOCs of the world and some of these other clowns, and I hate to use that word to be
she is a clown.
Now,
that's the right
clown,
word. I'm sorry. And she
you look
carries
at their
a lot of
background.
weight, too.
Upper middle class, good schools. It's like, what were you deprived of?
Nothing.
This country has given you blessing after blessing after blessing, and you turn around and spit on it. I mean, it's the epitome of just a vile, egregious, unhappy, miserable person. And unfortunately, man, they're out there. I mean, you look at the riot. Look it up in Delaney, the ICE detention. They bust them in. Yep. Barry, I mean, there's some from New Jersey, but they bust them in from all over. These are paid agitators that are hell bent on promoting and fomenting chaos in American cities, rioting, looting, burning. They are funded. A lot of this is coming from we know where it's coming from, the money and the organization, the Communist government of China, and the billionaires that are angry at America for some reason, and they are attempting to damage and fray the cultural fabric of our country, and that's why they have to lose this culture war that we're involved in right now. We have to show them a better way, a better tomorrow, and I think people are waking up and seeing what the left has become. And now, unfortunately, it's not like a bunch of off the beaten path fringe lunatics. This is the core of your Democrat Party today. Somehow they have seeped into the Democrat Party and basically taken it over. I mean, who's the moderate who's the moderate Democrats in this country anymore? They're very few. I mean, they're not allowed to be moderate. John Fetterman, you don't think he's going to have a primary challenge next time he seeks, if he seeks re-election? The base of that party is demanding that they, and this is what Cory Booker will do, and I will point out 24 hours a day over the next 5 months. Cory Booker's hate for Donald Trump will be his campaign message, and his hate for Donald Trump is no vision of America that our American family can believe in and work for to build together. And it's hate Donald Trump, obstruct Donald Trump, impeach Donald Trump, convict Donald Trump. I mean, this is what these people do. But unfortunately, they're alive politically for now.
I can't wait to see that debate. I hope that happens. In your mind, how many debates could you possibly have with him? Would you do two? Could you convince him to do two? Or what?
Barry, I'm working on that's a great question. I'm working on a whole strategy right now to be able to get my message out the way I want it to, not distorted through the print media that will be hostile to me and the Republican candidates. Yeah. So with that being said, yes, I expect him to debate one time. He'll debate one time. He's not taking this race serious, and that's fine. I want to catch him napping. He's not taking the race very serious. He'll debate one time as a token, and that's fine. I have other mechanisms I'm putting in place to make sure that I'm not dependent on one debate to get my message out to the people of New Jersey. We'll go right around that. Yep. I'll debate him 100 times if he wants, but he will not want to do that.
Of course not.
And debate, what worries me about debates, Barry, is unfortunately, I think a lot of people who are undecided may or not vote are not watching.
Well, that's the problem. But here's the deal.
Yeah, they don't tune in.
You need to get it on some kind of program where people could tune in. I mean, the debate with you guys that we saw 2 weeks ago, there was like 500 people or so, I believe, that tuned in. That's a joke. You need to have better visibility.
There's no question, and we're going to put something in place for that, but I'm not going to be dependent on the print media or some left-leaning news outlet to give me five or so debates with Cory Booker to get my message out. That won't happen. First of all, he'll never agree to it. He would never agree to more than. My guess is he'll do one debate. He's not going to give me a stage. I don't want it from him, and I'd really, honestly, would rather be on the stage myself, because I need to develop a narrative and a conversation and dialogue with the people of New Jersey. And that is the only way they're going to understand what the Republican Party can do, the vision we have, and what we are willing to fight for. Debates are great. I'm happy to do them, but, this 30-second response and then, I have to respond to what they said a minute ago because that was a lie. And debates don't really do anything. I really don't think they facilitate turnout and interest. So he'll debate one time. That's my guess as a token, and we'll see how that goes. My fear is that not a whole lot of people will watch it, and those who do will already have their minds made up, my supporters, his supporters. So other things are being put in place to make sure that our message is direct and amplified to the people of the state of New Jersey.
Let me ask you a question. Through the RNC, will you have direct communication with the White House, and can we get an endorsement from what I call the orange guy?
Well, we are working on all that now. We're putting things in place. I've been in contact with a multitude of organizations and people, and all that's falling into place. And we'll have a good team put in. We got one now, and it'll just get better and polished. And in the meantime, we're doing interviews like this with you. We were on Spotlight News, Jersey Spotlight News last night, and events are piling up. We're doing 1, 2, or 3 every day, and we'll be traveling the state as we did in the primary, and I'll be getting all the counties on board to facilitate other events, and which you, my friend, will know about, and we'll be seeing you on the campaign trail for sure.
Of course. Listen, I offered to Dave McCormick. I'm going to offer the same for you. All I got to do is go back to Dick's Sporting Goods store. You're going to be on rollerblades. I need to know your shoe size, too. I'm not going to give to him and not give to my other. It doesn't work like that, my friend.
You will not get me on a set of rollerblades, promise.
Listen, before we go, we've got another 4 or 5 minutes. Let's take advantage of the airtime. Are you disappointed in what's happening overseas with the war, or are you more concerned about right now what's happening in this country and the things that we need to do to improve the conditions of what's happening in America? Because I asked that question for a reason, because every time I get a chance to talk to McCormick off the air, I'm always concerned about the little guy. And that's how I feel. And what's happening in America. I have faith that Donald Trump will take care of our international affairs. I need more concentration on what's going on in the four corners of the United States of America.
Yeah, we need to be talented and multitask. We don't have that luxury of choosing one over the other. We can't say, well, we'll ignore domestic and worry about international, or we'll ignore international, worry about domestic. We need to we're talented as a country. We have the resources to deal with problems, domestic and international, so we need to make sure we're ramped up to be able to deal with both. I mean, domestically, it's affordability and economic issues as always, and then internationally, people want the war to wind down successfully so that we can enter into at least a phase of where there's peace and stability in that region of the world, and it's not always so volatile and dangerous. And I think we're on the path of doing that. Things will work out. I'm very confident and optimistic that he's doing the right thing. War and military engagement is never easy. It's always a difficult decision, and things may take longer than you realize, or want. But it will be fine. I mean, Barry, I bought gas last week. It was $4.79. I bought gas yesterday. It was $4.13. It was getting down to $4. And as soon as the issue gets straightened out and the oil flow is no longer uninterrupted, we'll get the lower gas prices and realize that what Trump has done for us. I mean, our inflation rate with Donald Trump has bounced between 2.4% and 4.2. Well, that beats the hell out of the 9% that Joe Biden gave you, the $5 gallon of gas that Joe Biden gave you, the 8% interest rate that Joe Biden gave you, the open border that Joe Biden gave you, and the declining wages for the middle class that Joe Biden gave you. We now have a secure border, falling inflation, falling interest rates, and rising wages for the middle class. An investment boom, a productivity boom, a great jobs market, private sector jobs. So we're doing the right things, and which is why it's imperative the Republican Party this November nationalize these issues, these elections for the midterm, and we're on offense. Nobody defines us, and we're going to go in energetically, pumped up. We're leaders. We're going to start acting like it, and we're going to take what's good to the American people, and we're going to deal with our problems as they come. But you're going to see a Republican Party that has its chin held high, and we're just doing the right things for the country, and we're going to start walking a little taller and believe in ourselves a little more. Not worried about what the press writes about us, because we know that will never be good.
Of course.
So we've got a good record. We're going to run on it, and we're going to take our vision to the people confidently and optimistically, as Reagan would, and we will be rewarded by the voters. I'm confident.
In the last few minutes that we have, mental health, what I call Byberry, like we had in Philly, or Ancora, that you had in Jersey. I no longer see that. Security at schools, to me, is a must. Homelessness is a must. Can you just quickly, with the few minutes we have left, give me your ideas on that? I'd love to see security guards at every school, every church, every synagogue. I don't want to see any more of these mass murders ever again in the state of New Jersey or anywhere else for all that matters. I don't know if it's happened in Jersey, but I know it surely happened throughout the country.
Look, we all, as an American family, our hearts ache when we have tragedies. But, the mass shootings, I mean, if you look at what happens in American cities every weekend, they're mass shootings. It's every weekend in Chicago, in St. Louis, East St. Louis. I mean, it's horrible. It's every weekend, and it's never discussed. It's never talked about because the left understands it's black-on-black violence, and it doesn't fit their narrative of a white supremacist nation hunting down minorities on American city streets. It's reprehensible and disgusting how they destroy this issue when we should be worried about the 3,000 young black men that bleed to death every 6 months on American city streets.
Terrible.
Mental illness, Barry, look, if people are mentally ill and they cannot sustain themselves and function, that they need to be off the streets. We can't have them running around terrorizing people in the cases that they do. Sometimes they don't. They're mentally ill and there are issues, but we cannot have criminals with records and mental illness out running the streets. They have to be institutionalized. And we've got the money. We've got enough fraud, waste, and abuse in our health care and social safety net programs that we can fund. We can fund what we need to do for these people as far as shelter and care and getting them off the streets. But government's first job is to protect citizens. And we've got a bunch of Soros DAs and a bunch of blue state city councils, mayors, and governors, and they just refuse to take the side of the American citizen, the legal citizen, the taxpayer, or the victim. They take the side of the criminal, the illegal alien, and just don't worry about the degradation of the quality of life that everybody has to incur and suffer because of it.
Yep, and I'll tell you something, Justin. We need to do better with our schools. We need to do better with our education of kids. We are failing as parents. We are failing our kids. I have to tell you, that young black kid the other day that either knifed, I guess, the athlete. I don't know if that was in Texas and in Philly.
Texas, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this breaks your heart to see a kid now go to jail for, my God, 40 years or so. Who knows how long it may be because of poor parenting. I don't care what anybody says. And one of these days, I'm going to do a show on feminism and women's lib because I know that when I did something wrong, my mom was there all the time. I'm not telling you she was thrilled with that job, but I know one thing. We grew up without guns and knives and all these malicious thoughts.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is, Barry, you can have a gun on your side, you can have a knife in your pocket, but you're the person that pulled it out and used it. And that's the issue, not the weapon itself. The parenting, I mean, look, do we value human life at all in this country anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Evidently, we've got a problem with it, which is I'm pro-life, as people know, and I think pro-life means to value human life in all aspects. But, when your young people don't have a regard for human life, and it's a tragedy. You got one kid that was stabbed to death, and the devastation that family has to incur. Then you have the other family who this kid's going to sit in jail. His life is ruined now. It's a crime. I mean, it's a tragedy of epic proportions, and we've got too many teenagers and young people that what's not instilled in them, Barry, is the value of human life.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, Justin Murphy, running in the state of New Jersey, U.S. Senate. Please don't make yourself a stranger. Let us know where we could find you in the next 4 or 5 upcoming months. You know you have my endorsement, you have my support, and I'm here for you, Justin Murphy, in every which way that I can.
Well, we're honored to have it, and we'll need all the help we can get. We always thank you. It's a great time to be on this show. It's the best, and you can visit us on JerseyJustin4Senate.org. JerseyJustin4Senate.org, and we're going to be talking to every citizen of New Jersey in all 21 counties. We've got a busy 5 months ahead of us, but we're looking forward to it.
Yep, from your mouth to God's ears. Have a great summer, my friend. We will see you on the other side. Absolutely. See you on the other side of the break. Midday show, Barry Sable, here, having a great time. I can't believe it, boys. A half hour left. That's it. Come on.
We got nothing left, basically. Yeah, we
don't even have a half hour,
no,
do we?
We got commercial breaks to take. I can't believe how quickly this show's gone by.
Well, we've had some great guests, and we've had some great conversation, and I hope people appreciate because it takes a lot of effort to get these people to circle the wagons and get them on the air. But everybody is trying to accommodate us. At least they accommodate me. And when they hear 1210 WPHT, they all stop what they're doing and they make time for us. See you on the other side of the break.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Bring on the fun and bring home a new Honda with a great deal on your favorite Honda vehicles. And finally, take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2026 KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.49% APR on the 2026 HR-V.
Visit Piazza Hyundai of Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield today.
See dealer for financing details. Based on 2026 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Just don't do it. Just don't go another day climbing in and out of that unsafe, ugly old bathtub. Today's the day to step into a gorgeous new shower from PJ Fitzpatrick. The jacuzzi shower system from PJ Fitzpatrick features a low entry threshold. Just walk right in. The jacuzzi shower is luxurious, affordable, and installs in just one day. Plus, PJ will include a free shower seat and safety bars for all customers this month. Visit trustpj.com today for your free design consultation.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Some of these problems are easily correctable. We could see significant improvement. Nothing is ever absolute. Nothing could ever be 100% yada yada. But man, we could have so many different better things if we just had that same mentality of, oh, we're having guests, companies coming over. Let's get it together and make it look like we have our house in order. When we know Philadelphia as a city does not have their house in order.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I am back. You are listening to the Midday Show, 1210 WPHT, only in Philadelphia. I want to thank my two guys on the other side, Matt and Justin. You make this show easy. I want to thank my guests before we go. We're at 5:36. We're going to be out, I don't know, sometime around 54 or 57, only because Rich Zeoli is following, and we're all interested to hear what he has to say because there's so many things going on in the world, and he's so informative. But, guys, I want to get to this Plattner situation in Tarico. I know, Matt, you wanted to pull up a clip. Can we do that?
Sure. We've got a clip of this is Trump in the Oval Office yesterday reacting to news that Graham Plattner had won his primary in Maine. Justin, this is cut number 5, Trump in the Oval Office yesterday.
Go ahead.
They're dumb. They're Democrats. They have the worst policy of anybody. I watched that thug that's up in Maine. He's a thug. And they're trying to make excuses for him. I mean, he's worse than any human being that's ever run for office, probably. I don't know him. I don't want to say bad, but I just, look, I mean, nobody's ever had a record like that.
No.
And you'll have Schumer. He goes crazy over this or that, or Epstein. This guy. Why are they talking about him? He said, well, we don't know, but this guy's got a rap sheet. I've never seen anything like it. He's a thug. Yeah. I know thugs. I had to deal with thugs. I built a lot of buildings. I dealt with the toughest people on earth.
I get the point.
I dealt with worse than...
I'm more interested what you and Justin think. You know, you guys are a little younger than me, and we never had, in my mind, politicians that had this kind of background running for office. I mean, you guys got to live with these guys going forward, him and Tellerico in Texas. Tell me your thoughts, boys.
I think he's got I think my opinion might be not ordinary. I actually think Plattner has big issues. So he lost 19% of the vote in that primary to a candidate that dropped out weeks ago in Janet Mills. And he lost nearly 30% of the overall vote, even though no one was actively running against him. To me, it's sort of reminiscent of 2024 during the presidential election.
The Michigan primary.
Yeah, when Biden actually, I think more than 100,000 Democrats voted uncommitted instead of Joe Biden. Now, Biden won, obviously, but uncommitted had so much support that it actually earned 2 Democratic convention delegates, which obviously proved to be a troubling sign of things to come for Biden. Now, this is what I think is interesting. So in her op-ed in the Washington Post on Monday, Genevieve McDonald, who had been Plattner's political director prior to resigning, she said that if Plattner wins the nomination, which he did, but later withdraws, Maine Democrats can hold a convention and basically choose their own nominee.
Yeah, like they did with
Biden.
Biden.
Yeah.
And
so,
who do you call it?
Yeah,
Kamala.
with Kamala. So when he's been asked recently if there are any more disturbing details from his past that could potentially emerge, and Plattner is not flatly denying that the worst of the Oppo research has been released. He simply just says there's nothing credible that's going to come to light between now and Election Day, which in my mind means that there's going to be more that comes to light for sure. And odds are it's probably true. I don't think he has. I personally don't think he's going to beat Susan Collins. I'm not the biggest Susan Collins fan, but
neither am I.
I think in order to justify a vote for Graham Plattner, the moderate voters in Maine are going to have to conclude that she's some sort of radical.
Yeah,
but she is not. She's probably the most moderate member of the United States Senate. I just don't think. I don't think independents are going to swing Graham Plattner's way.
How often does Susan Collins end up being like the tiebreaker? Like she's not always
100% committed on Trump's agenda.
No, it's Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and John Fetterman are basically your three moderate senators. And in order to get independents hyped up for Graham Plattner in Maine, you basically have to sell them on Susan Collins being like, I don't know, Ted Cruz on steroids or something. And good luck with that.
MAGA's strongest soldier.
But you know something, guys? I mean, where is the qualifications to sit in that Senate seat? I mean, I look at these people that are running for office. Take an AOC. I get it. She was a bartender. I get it. And all of a sudden, people are talking about her running for president. You have to be kidding. Are we discounting the difficulty of what it takes to be a president or hold office, guys? What gives?
AOC is interesting.
She's pretty. She's good looking.
She's personable.
She's
likable.
She had a little physique to her. But so what? She's dumb as a stump. Come on.
It's kind of insane. So if you look up the odds of who will win the Democrat presidential nomination in 2028, she's actually climbed into second place behind Gavin Newsom. It's a distant second. She's at 10%. Newsom's at 21%. And oddly enough, John Ossoff is now at almost 10%
John
also.
Ossoff's been like a rising star this last 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know what they see in him.
Why is that, Justin? Tell me.
They just see I guess they want to try and recreate a new sort of JFK-esque figure, and they feel that Gavin Newsom is too controversial. You know, he's already got this branded image of a California elitist, which he is. The slick back hair, the
another GQ. That's
holier than you attitude.
That's right.
And Ossoff is seemingly, this nice country guy from Georgia, and you can kind of mold him into whatever image the mainstream Democratic Party wants to mold him into.
Guys, before we go to a break, all I hear is two terms: Proud Boys and white supremacist. Could you explain to me, in your thoughts, because I have my own, what the heck is a Proud Boy? I don't see them anywhere, and a white supremacist. I know that in my years as a single guy, I've dated all different denominations, races, and colors. Nobody could ever call me a white supremacist. What in the world are these people talking about? That's all I hear from Democrats. White supremacists, white supremacists. Why? Because we're against someone coming into this country illegal, no matter what color skin they have? What gives, boys, again, for white supremacy?
My quick summarization before we throw to break and Justin gets a word in would just be, I'm sure the Proud Boys exist. I don't see them frequently. I have no idea.
They haven't. See, they had their
surface,
but their major. They haven't really done anything since January 6th.
And white supremacist, I hate that the term white supremacist gets thrown around so frequently by the left because it's obviously a despicable human being.
Everything I don't like is white supremacy.
Why devalue that phrase? Not everyone that the left labels a white supremacist. For example, we talked about it earlier. Brian Fair, the chairman of the Southern Poverty Law Center, that was an organization that basically labeled pro-life groups white supremacist organizations, which makes no sense to me.
None.
You could disagree with them politically, sure, but that doesn't mean that they're white supremacists. I don't like the devaluing of the term white supremacist. We can all agree, a white supremacist, bad guy. We don't like him.
And Justin, let me
don't
tell
throw
you
it
something.
around the term.
I'm not so sure who showed up that day, January 6th. The Proud Boys? Proud Boys might took us. People entered into that building, and cops opened up the door and let them go for a tour. So to me, I'm not so sure what those Proud Boys are. I think it's a label. I think it's improper.
And going to Matt's point about everything I don't like, they would probably label me a white supremacist because I voted for Trump.
And you are what?
And I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Latino. And they would consider just because I don't like the sun and I don't tan often. I look white, but they would call me a white supremacist even though I'm Latino.
Up against the break, Heartbreak Boys. You are listening again to the Midday Show. We don't have much time left. We'll see you on the other side of the break. 1210 WPHT.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah. So green.
USA keeper was decent enough.
Didn't have much to do.
99 minutes.
Not a single goal. Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $365 in bonus bets just for signing up.
At least someone scored.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Philadelphia without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Philadelphia for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Philadelphia is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Philadelphia and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, there's only a few minutes left. Barry Sable sitting in, midday show, 1210 WPHT, with 2 of my boys, Matt on the other side and Justin. Guys, we only have a few minutes left. I know we're out by 54. It gives me 4 minutes. So let me read some thoughts, and maybe I could solicit some ideas from you guys. Chime in if you like. Maybe, this is Morgan Freeman, maybe if we underpaid politicians and overpaid teachers, there would be smarter people and less stupid laws. Anybody want to comment to that one?
I've long said that I do believe there should be like a 90% tax every time Bernie Sanders writes one of his books. So any income earned outside of his congressional salary tax at 90% would be the first tax he didn't support.
There you go. Listen, Justin, I have one for you. You will never find justice in a world where criminals make the laws. Bob Marley said that. Your thoughts?
No, it's absolutely true. We've seen time and time again what these people in Congress will try to and mostly get away with. Luckily, we've had cases like Bob Menendez in New Jersey where they get found out. But who knows what they're doing behind the scenes that we don't get to see and we'll never get to know.
Are we going to hold anybody accountable in this country, especially the head of the snake? I asked on Sunday, I forget who the heck I was talking to already. All these shows, to be honest, all these shows, they kind of commingle like spaghetti. But the point is anybody going to be held accountable for the head of the snake, as I say, like Waltz or Ellison? Let's just take those two guys as an example. Matt, your thoughts? Or they got to slide through?
I always just assume they'll slide through and no one will ultimately be held accountable. I know that's not the answer that people want to hear, but if I was a betting man and I had to place a wager on one side or the other, that's what I'm going with. They'll be just fine.
There you go. Justin, Kanye Reeves said, life is not about being rich, about being popular, being highly educated, or being perfect. It's about being real, being humble, and being kind, my friend.
That's genuinely a perfect quote to live by. It's not about the materialistic things. It's about being happy with, the relationships that you make, the people that you have around you, the things that you try, the skills that you learn. It's never about being superficial.
No, I agree.
I love Keanu. I was going to say I love Keanu Reeves. I'm big fan of John Wick, but I love material items. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not surprised looking at that watch on your wrist.
Life is strange. You arrive with nothing. Listen to this. Spend your whole life chasing everything and still leave with nothing. Make sure your soul gains more than your hands. Comments?
I think that melds well with the Keanu Reeves quote. Don't prioritize material items, although I haven't listened to Keanu.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I haven't seen any movies with him lately, has he?
I feel like it's just a bunch of John Wick films, isn't it? Every time I turn on the TV, there's like John Wick 7 is coming out. Seems like they're cranking one out every 6 months or so.
Yeah, we have, another minute and a half. Listen to this one. Truths about life. Nobody cares until you succeed. Time never comes back. Not everyone is your friend. Money changes people. Hard work beats talent. You will be judged no matter what. Success takes years, not days. Comfort zone destroys dreams. Anybody want to tackle that one?
I like the success isn't an over. I don't remember exactly what you said, but I remember hearing a quote that was similar, and it was an overnight success 10 years in the making. It seems as though it was instantaneous, but no one, I guess, realizes or appreciates how much effort was put in place behind the scenes.
Listen, you guys know how hard you work to be successful. Basically, the years will tell more than the days will ever know. And it's the same thing here. You don't come into a job like this and automatically make $1 zillion. You got to make a path for yourself. And I believe you guys are doing that. Listen, it looks like the time is over. I want to thank the both of you guys. From the bottom of my heart, you made my job easy. I want to thank our guests. Midday show, 1210 WPHT. Barry Sable sitting in. We will see you Saturday morning for Tom Hazelby. The Barry Sable Show, 1210 WPHT, as they say, 8 to 9 on Saturday, 10 to 11 on Sunday. Thanks for joining me.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus,